Welcome to Cuckoo English Podcast for daily English practice. Hey, English learners! Welcome back to the Cuckoo English Podcast. This is a place where we talk about life, feelings, mindset, and personal growth.
And, of course, improve your English naturally along the way.
I am your host, Sophia.
And I am your co-host, Jeremy.
Before we begin, let me ask you something. When was the last time you tried to read a book in English and quietly gave up?
Be honest. Was it after the first page? Or the first paragraph? Or the first big scary word?
If you're smiling right now, don't worry, you're not alone. Most English learners have a complicated relationship with books.
And today's episode is for exactly those people. For people who want to read but feel stuck.
Now, before we go deeper, we want to share something exciting with you. Starting from this week, we're beginning a new Saturday series on this podcast.
Every Saturday, we'll talk about one interesting book, carefully chosen for beginners and intermediate English learners.
Not heavy classics, not difficult novels, just simple, meaningful books that help you learn English naturally.
We'll talk about the story, the ideas, the language, and how you can enjoy reading without pressure.
And today's episode is the foundation of that series. Before we start reading books together every Saturday, we need to talk about something important.
Why reading books matters so much for learning English and for you as a person.
So relax. You don't need a notebook. You don't need a dictionary. Just listen, like you're sitting with two friends having a calm conversation.
If you're ready to improve your English through engaging podcasts and want to learn about amazing, life-changing books every week, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
All right, Jeremy, let's start our today's episode.
So, Sophia, let's start with something honest. Most people say, I know reading is good, but they don't actually read.
Yes, reading has a very good reputation. Everyone respects it, but very few people enjoy it.
Yes, especially in English. In our own language, reading feels comfortable, but in English, it suddenly feels like a test.
Exactly. You open a book and your brain says, okay, focus, don't make mistakes, understand everything. And the moment reading feels like an exam, all joy disappears.
I think it is because many of us also carry memories from school. Forced reading, boring books, long answers, marks, pressure.
Correct, Jeremy. So subconsciously, books don't feel safe. They feel like work.
And then as adults, we say, I don't have time to read.
But somehow we have time to scroll for 1 hour.
Exactly. We don't hate reading. We hate how reading made us feel.
Let me ask our listeners directly. Do you ever feel that reading in English makes you feel small? Like your English is not good enough?
That feeling is very common and very unnecessary.
You know, Jeremy, the biggest problem in book reading is fear, because most reading problems are actually fear problems.
Ah, yes. Fear of unknown words.
Fear of slow reading.
Fear of not understanding everything.
And fear of comparison. Like, my friend reads novels, I can't even finish 1 page.
But listeners, here's a secret. Even native English speakers don't understand every word in a book.
Yes, they skip, they guess, they move on. They don't get stuck on 1 word.
But English learners think if I don't understand every word, I'm failing.
And that's where reading becomes painful.
Another big problem is translation. We read one sentence and immediately translate it into our language.
And that slows everything down.
And makes reading tiring.
So instead of enjoying a story, your brain is doing double work.
Reading is supposed to be gentle, but we make it heavy.
Listeners, let me ask you something. When you watch a movie in English, do you pause every time you hear a new word?
No, you continue, and somehow you still understand the story.
Reading works the same way, but no one tells us that.
Listeners, let me ask you something. How many books do you read in a month? Share your answer in the comments, honestly. Your answer might motivate someone else to start reading. Now let's talk about the magic part. What really happens when you read regularly and how it improves your English?
Yes, because this is the part people don't talk about enough. What slowly changes inside you when reading becomes a habit.
And trust me, this magic doesn't happen on day one. On day one, most of us just feel confused.
Oh yes, let me be honest. When I started reading in English, I felt very strange and slow.
Same here. I remember opening my first English book and thinking, wow, this author clearly doesn't care about beginners.
I used to stop after every sentence. Google, dictionary, notes, stress. And after 2 pages, I was tired like I ran a marathon.
I think this happens to every beginner.
Yeah, but something interesting happened when I didn't quit. Slowly, very slowly, things started changing. First magic is vocabulary. My vocabulary started to grow. Not memorized vocabulary, but living vocabulary.
This is very important. When you read, you don't study words, you meet them.
Exactly. You meet them again and again in different situations with different emotions.
I remember the word eventually. I saw it everywhere in books.
And you didn't memorize it?
No, one day I just started using it. I said, eventually I understood this word. And I thought, wait, I'm using it correctly.
That feeling is amazing. Listeners, have you ever used a new English word naturally and surprised yourself?
If yes, comment below. We want to know.
When you see a word again and again, your brain remembers it naturally. You don't need to write it 10 times.
You don't need to memorize definitions.
You just understand it.
Second important thing we learn by reading book is sentence flow.
Books teach you how English sounds, not textbook English, real English.
You know, Sophie, when I started reading regularly, something strange happened. My speaking became smoother, even though I wasn't speaking much.
Yes, it's like your brain stores music. Later, when you speak, the music comes out.
Before reading, my sentences felt broken, like puzzle pieces from different boxes.
Same. I used to think in my native language and translate.
But books trained my brain to think in English patterns.
Listeners, quick question for you. Do you translate in your head before speaking English?
If yes, don't worry. Reading slowly reduces that habit. And here's just a quick reminder. If you want to learn some tips on how to think in English, you can watch our other episode, Stop Translating and Start Thinking in English. We'll mention the link in the description. Now comes the third important benefit of reading books. Grammar. Yes, grammar.
But grammar without rules. Reading helps us improve our grammar in a very natural way.
When we read regularly, we see correct sentences again and again. Our brain starts noticing patterns without us studying rules.
And we slowly understand where to use is or was, has or had. Instead of thinking about grammar names, we begin to feel what sounds right.
And this makes speaking easier and writing smoother. Reading also helps us avoid common mistakes because our brain remembers correct English.
That's why reading is one of the easiest and most powerful ways to improve grammar without stress.
Yes, at some point you will stop asking yourself, is this present perfect or past simple?
You just feel what sounds right.
And when someone says a wrong sentence, your brain quietly says, that sounds strange.
That feeling doesn't come from grammar books. It comes from exposure.
From seeing correct English again and again.
Also, new phrases come from reading, not from grammar rules.
And Sophie, you know what's funny?
What, Jeremy?
When I started reading regularly, I felt smarter, but my phone battery started dying faster.
Why? How is book reading related to phone battery?
Because of dictionary apps. But now I rarely check meanings.
That's growth. Quiet, natural, powerful growth.
And that's the real magic of reading.
Listeners, tell us, what was the first English book you tried to read? Was it easy or scary?
Comment below. And remember, reading doesn't change you loudly.
It changes you silently, one page at a time.
Sophie, I think one of the biggest benefits of reading is this. You slowly stop translating in your head. You're not jumping from your language to English anymore.
Oh, yes, that's so true. You start understanding ideas directly in English without stopping to search for meanings.
At first, it's definitely slow. You pause, you think, and sometimes you feel unsure.
But with time, it becomes more comfortable. The words start making sense on their own.
And then one day, you suddenly realize you're thinking in English without trying.
That moment feels very special, almost surprising.
Yes, and the interesting thing is, it doesn't come from speaking practice alone.
It comes from silent exposure, from spending quiet time with the language.
Reading is like living with English quietly, every day.
Now let's go beyond just learning English. Reading changes more than your language skills.
Absolutely. It also changes how you focus. In our world of fast content and constant notifications, reading teaches patience.
Yes, it trains you to sit with one thing, to really pay attention. That's a skill we all need.
And it doesn't stop there. Reading improves your emotional understanding, too.
You start understanding people better. You notice feelings, thoughts, small gestures you may have missed before.
Sometimes a book says exactly what you were feeling, but couldn't put into words.
And when that happens, it's magical. You feel less alone. That connection is powerful.
Yes, it's amazing how reading quietly can touch your mind and heart at the same time. Now, let's be practical. We've talked about why reading is amazing, but how do you actually start?
Yes, many beginners feel overwhelmed. So first rule is choose easy books.
Easy doesn't mean boring. I once picked a simple book, and honestly, it was so dull I almost fell asleep on page 2.
That's why easy means comfortable. Choose a book that makes you curious, something you want to keep turning the pages of, even if the language is simple.
Second rule is don't use the dictionary too much. When I started, I had this habit of checking every single word. It took me an hour to read one page.
Exactly. Only check a word if it keeps appearing or if it's really important for the story. Otherwise, let it pass. Your brain will catch it naturally.
Third rule is short reading sessions are enough. 10 to 15 minutes a day is perfect for beginners. I started with just 10 minutes before bed, and it slowly became a habit.
And remember, it's okay to read in small bursts. Even 5 minutes is better than nothing.
Fourth rule is don't force yourself to finish a book. If it's not engaging, it's okay to stop and try another.
Reading is a relationship, not a responsibility. You want to enjoy it, not feel guilty.
Here's a small tip. Set a reading corner. A cozy chair, a cup of tea, good light. It makes reading a mini celebration.
And don't worry about understanding everything. Sometimes just following the story is enough. Your brain fills in the gaps gradually.
Listeners, quick question for you. What book do you want to start with? Comment below. We'd love to hear your choices.
Before we move on, let's do a quick repeat after me moment for confidence. I enjoy reading for 10 minutes a day. And I choose books that interest me.
Again, repeat after me. I read without pressure. See? Simple, relaxed, and fun. Start small, enjoy the process, and slowly you'll see huge changes in your English, your focus, and even your thinking.
Reading isn't a race, it's a quiet journey, and every page you read counts.
So this brings us to the end of today's episode.
Wow, Jeremy, what a journey today. We talked about so many things. How reading quietly improves your vocabulary, grammar, sentence flow, and even your thinking.
Yes, and it's not just about English. Reading also changes how we focus, understand emotions, and even sparks creativity.
The best part is it's slow, quiet, and fun. You don't have to memorize rules, force yourself, or feel stressed.
Exactly. And remember, reading is a relationship, not a responsibility. Enjoy every page, every sentence, every word.
And here's something exciting for you. From this Saturday, we'll bring you an interesting book for you every week, specially chosen for beginners and intermediate learners.
So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join us on this reading journey.
Because every book you read is a small step toward better English, more confidence, and a whole new world of ideas.
Keep reading, enjoy the process, and we'll see you next Saturday with an amazing book.
Happy reading, everyone! Bye-bye!